Okay, so it's 5:51 on the 12th. Stella's snoring her head off. We went to the dog park yesterday. We were there for like an hour, and I'm so glad I did. And I really like this dog park. It's fucking huge. And there was lots of dogs and stuff, and I really got to see a different side to Ruthie. She gets along with everybody. She wants to play with every dog. She wants to go up to every person. And so many people were just like really loving her. And somebody even came up to me and said, I don't think she'll be much of a guard dog. She's way too sweet. I said, but Stella's really sweet. You don't have to be vicious to be a dog, guard dog. You just have to be big and loud. Most people are scared of you. So, and I know she's going to be big and loud, but I still want to get another English Mastiff. Everyone that I've had such a good relationship with. And I know my relationship with Stella is really special. And I'm really hoping, I already ordered that. I just ordered it. I was like, fuck it. The blood plasma stuff is supposed to reduce inflammation. And so it should be here in a couple days. And so I'm going to try that. There's something going on with Max. So I'm starting him on turkey tail and glucosamine and see if that makes some improvement. They're already on the CHDX water. So that's supposed to kill everything. But Stella, still has something going on. I'm going to try the yeast pills again. Those are going to be coming next week. Well, is it next week? Because they're coming on my big subscribe and save. So the 22nd. Maybe I should order some more beforehand. They're only like $6. Yeah, maybe I should do that and get those so she can start taking it again, because it really did seem like it was helping. And I don't think it was just my nose stopped up. And so I don't know what is going on with Max, but definitely seems like something. He's like petering out. He's just like, I don't know. But the turkey tail, which Stella's been on for a long time, I spend, I don't go to the VET, but I spend so much on the supplements and stuff. I spend hundreds of dollars on Stella's supplements and stuff every month. And now I'm going to be adding some onto Max's thing. So, because turkey tail is, if you got any of the CA and CER, it is like really good for a lot of things. Like, I know it has helped. Well, most people who go on it, like they'll go on to, like Stella was sick when I went on it. And somebody said, try this. And then I was seeing videos talking about it and stuff. So I put her on it. And, it's been years now. And so it does extend their time. It extends their health or whatever. You can't really extend time. You're always going to do what you're going to do. That's the thing. That's a misnomer. That's a false belief that we are changing something like that. Because really, we're living in a world that is built off of destiny. It's a pre-planned, organized reality of experience. So it's not just like willy-nilly. No, you can do this and change everything. You're always going to change what you're going to change when you're going to change it. So, and that's something I think that most people don't understand. But but we went to the dog park and it was really fun and it was hot. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Because I was grumpy as shit, man. And Stella wanted me to come and sit on the bed with her. So I started watching a movie and then I started getting super tired. So I start dozing off. And every fucking time I did, she'd wake me up. I was like, oh my God, I was getting so irritated. So I stomp up and open the door. If anybody wants to go outside, because obviously I'm going to get up. And when I opened the door, I was like, oh my God, it's like summertime out here. And it was so hot and so sunny. And so I was like, I went out and started cleaning up the yard. And I was like, man, I should take him to the dog park. It would probably be the best thing. And so I went in and I asked Stella if she wanted to go, and she got all excited. I said, do you want to get in the car then? And she's like, jumps up, hell yeah. So then got all her stuff together, drove him. It's like 15 minutes, but it takes like 25 minutes to get there. And so 15 miles, but it takes like 25 minutes to get there. So we drove and got there, and got there like at 3. And then I was like, oh my God, this sucks, because I thought the one I used to go to in Bellingham, you just pull up and the door's right there. No, you have a jaunt to do through the park, and I have all of them, and I didn't bring all their leashes. And because I was assuming that you would just pull up and be right in the gate. No, you walk through the park to get there. So I was like, fuck, man. It was like an ordeal. And, I had some of them on seatbelt. They didn't even have their leashes. I just had their seatbelts hooked onto this one leash. I had 2 leashes, I think. And I didn't know like the rules, you know, if people were gonna be like, hey, you gotta have your dog on a leash. So I had to have all 4 of them on something. And Ruthie's going wild crazy. So we get in there then, and then they had so much fun, especially Ruthie. She was playing with every dog. Every dog that came in, she'd run over to play with them. And all the owners, she had to go up and get to know every owner, every dog. She was just having such a good time. And not at all aggressive to any dog, nothing. She just not anything like how she'll be. I don't necessarily think she's trying to be mean to Max, but he is not receptive to her wanting to play and jumping on top of him. And she'll just go, like if he's laying in a chair, like right now he's laying in this chair. And but he'll go kind of off and sit in this chair by himself, because he's not even doing his regular porn routine after eating, you know. I mean, he's really like, I don't know what's going on with him. I was like, man, I would kind of like to get blood work, but then also if it came back and they said, oh well, it's got this and this and this, you know, and then they try and sell you on this and this and this. It's like, so I just try and think of all of the different things. Like I'm doing, you know, the PARASITE cleanses and stuff, and trying to detoxify, and then adding these supplements that are supposed to be good. So let's try these things. But yeah, you can't stop. What's meant to be is meant to be, you know. And he could have a really rough system from his lifestyle. I don't know what his life was like. I don't know how long he lived on the streets. I know Lucy had issues that, you know, from her, it went all the way to her birth thing, because when she was born, there was like 9 puppies. 3 of them were born alive and 6 of them were not. And they had been dead in the womb for a while. And so then the vet had said that it messed up her system, like depleted, it caused problems in her system. Like she had all this built up bacteria or something. I'm not really sure. But that's when they found that out. That's when it's like, oh, that's why she had issues. So, anyways, I don't know his history at all. It's not like I know, most history I know, well, I know most about Stella. And then I know a lot about Ruthie's, because I know, I mean, I'm related to the people where she came from. I don't know too much about Archie's, but I can kind of tell him a little bit more about his. And then plus he was like younger when I got him. But Max, it's like, I don't know. Even somebody at the dog park was like, asked me how old he was. And I said, I don't know. I think that they are not misjudged how old he was. They told me he was like 60 years ago. And she goes, yeah, he acts way older than that. Because he would be 8 for a small dog. Shouldn't be so like, I mean, he's going and just laying down, like walking and then just laying down. And I took his sweater off because I was like, oh, he's probably hot. At some points, he was even like foaming at the mouth, like he was, and slobber was coming out. So I don't know if I had water out for him. And he went up and had a couple drinks and stuff. So I don't know if he was just getting too hot, or if he just, everything he does to go and do something just wears him out. And I started thinking, man, I even looked up yesterday, what is the symptoms of a heartworm? Like, fuck, I don't know. But it's like, there's so many different things you can have from, like I said, I don't know how long he lived in the streets. So anyways, that's what I'm approaching his thing and see. And the when I was reading the reviews on this plasma stuff, for the joint situation, then because the name of this company is WINPRO, which you can even get it on Chewy and on Amazon. I'm buying it directly from them, and you get a better deal. But the reviews say that it made a huge improvement, like in their dog, and so that's what I'm hoping. They said, and it only took a few days, and ones that had been on glucosamine for a long time, then when they took this, all of a sudden they were just up and going, because it does something with inflammation, and so that's what. And I didn't want to have her because they wanted her on for her diagnosis. They wanted her on anti-inflammatory, pain, and something else, but it causes a lot of liver damage. And I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. And they even, when I was trying, because she has these big flare-ups and stuff, and when I was trying, and then I would take her to the ER, and it would always be this big fucking cycle. And but when I was trying, she was refused. She wouldn't eat. I was trying to wrap her up in those little things. I was putting them in meat and stuff. She knew every time. She would be like, nope, I'm not taking them. Nope. So I had to start listening to her and trusting her. You know, if she won't take them, she probably knows something that I don't know. And that could have been also why she was getting, you know, had more issues or something, was from that stuff. So anyways, that's my whole thing. I always feel like I have to give a whole like disclosure statement, because most people are just like, well, just take them to the VET, go get some MEDs. And it's like, but that is a part of a system that is not really productive in our health. So it's also affects, it's the animal system is the same as ours. And so I was like, I'm trying something different. And anyways, that's what I'm doing. And so, and I think I'm going to start going to the dog park once or twice a week. But right now, still having so much trouble walking. You know, and yesterday even I was like, man, do we just go walking out and just go walk down the river? But there was so much SHOOTING. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it is so freaking creepy when you are outside and you hear this bang, 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 bang. It's like, fuck, man, duck and cover. Like, what the hell? And then it's like, well, you know, I would assume that they are aiming, but I don't know where the thing is that they're aiming. I don't know if it goes and misses and then flies by and comes my direction. Like, fuck, crazy things happen. And the crazy thing about it too is nothing that can happen that's not meant to happen. Like, if that were to happen, that would be it was because it was supposed to. That would be my way out or something. It would be like, oh, well, that's what was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be. And it's funny too, because it's not like just like my thing. It's the people left behind. It's the storyline for them to process through, because I'd be gone. And then it would be, you know, it's weird because people's death can make an impact in the world from how they go. You know, there's tons of people who have been hit by drunk drivers, and then that made an impact on creating laws and restrictions over those things. But it's not like that it is completely absolved what or resolved what the issue is, because we still have these people who don't acknowledge it, or their issues too bad for them to be able to acknowledge it. Which I was thinking about this morning. I was thinking about number 4. Oh, I remember what I was thinking about, because I was thinking about the Indian thing. And one thing, okay, so when I was the other one, number 4, which, you know, I've talked about, like, he was a heavy drinker. But also, when you acknowledge people's pain and what they're trying to hide from, there was reasons. He had a lot of stuff in his childhood, a lot of stuff that would be things that he was trying to hide from or didn't want to think about or whatever. And people use these products in order to self-medicate and to try and take away their pain and their problems, but it just doesn't work. It's not good for you. So anyways, but I just wanted to say that because, you know, I mean, I think a lot of people who drink too much and do drugs and stuff like that. They are in pain and suffering. They're doing it because they're trying to hide from something. And, well, I know in my case, I never became a drug addict, but I definitely did a lot of drugs. And but it is definitely, it takes everything away there for a minute. It's like, everything's fine. Everything's good for a minute. So, anyways, that was, so I relate that with other people. But then when I see people who have a lot of pain and suffering, and then they choose that outlet, then, I have compassion and empathy for them, but it still doesn't mean that, it still is your better way is to heal the problems that are paining you, because just hiding from them is not going to make them go away. It's just going to prolong and increase your suffering in the long run. But anyway, so I was thinking about that this morning, but I was thinking about his, so yeah, there was a lot of compartmentalized family situation in his past. And so, like, he didn't ever get to know his grandparents until he was way older. Well, I think he knew him when he was really little, tiny. Then there was a separation, a divorce. So one side of the family was excommunicated from his life. So he never got to know any of them. And they always were mourning and stuff. And then when he was married to me and he got to go and meet up, the grandpa was already gone, but his wife was there. And so she brought out a history book of their family. So I thought this was the coolest thing. So somebody in their family had gone through their family lineage, their family tree, and wrote out a whole book in history about all these different people, which I was like, this is the coolest thing. I thought it was so fucking cool. But anyways, in that is where he found out that his great uncle or whatever was John the Baptist, which was, I keep thinking that is, he married Pocahontas. And so this is what I was thinking about this morning. I'd have to, that's why, it was kind of the other day when I heard somebody saying Pocahontas wasn't an adult woman, she was a child. And I was like, oh shit. Because when I was hearing about his family thing, or we were reading in that book and stuff, I was like, oh my God, how cool. You got this, this connection to Pocahontas. And so I think it was John the Baptist. Like I had said yesterday, they went around with missionaries too. So there was these groups, these explorer groups, and they would go out and just how people are doing things that she's always tearing. It's she fucking tears shit up. She tears toys to pieces. But so, right now we are exploring in the world, but we're exploring on a different level. We're exploring our consciousness and trying to understand. But the people who are doing that are out beyond where the people who are just staying in the constraints of reality. And so that would be an explorer. So these people who were explorers of territory. So we're going to go out, we're going to see what's out there. Wait, there's some boogers coming out of my nose. Hold on. This allergy season is quite long. Last year's. It never stops. And once you start, it just keeps going. So, I wonder what that could be. I wonder. So anyways, so the explorers would go out looking for new territory. But it would become what is that called? A whole big group. I can't think of it. There's something that popped into my head for a second. It was this big group. And so then there would be these scouts, which it seems that they used for scouts. It seems that it was tribes people, but it seems how it looks to me is several like, Indian people, indigenous, the locals, that they, several of them on horseback, but then they were the majority, but then there was a couple of like white guys, which to me it would be not necessarily, the Kingsmen, the military, but their new scout creation, like I said, like these pirates and prisoners and stuff that they would bring over, kind of like the reputation of what they said happened in Australia. It's like that's what they've always done. And so they so you'd have the ones that went out ahead and looking, like, then you had the ones taking all the credit. They were a little in the back. I think it was like a day or two ahead. It wasn't just like 5 minutes ahead. It was like ahead. And then I think that they would be like, it would be going, and then somebody would go back and then tell them whatever, really give messages like, okay, it's all clear, follow this path or whatever. And then, but these guys were the ones who had to clear the way. So whatever obstacles they came across, these ones had to clear the way. And it kind of seems like it was funded by money, like Union Pacific or something, like certain, what now would, excuse me, ma'am, Ruthie, she is convinced that she can sit on my lap in this chair. It's like, she's huge. She cannot sit on my lap in this chair. Girl, just sit down, okay? So anyways, these things are so fucking janky, wonky, fucking cheap ass shit. So, okay, so as we're traveling, please, okay, I know you just want to kiss and make out, but just stop. Scoot over. So anyways, the girl, stop. I swear to God, these disruptions come from the spirits. Will you stop? Please stop. Okay, I'm about to drug this bitch. Let me find the CBD. Where is it? Okay, wild lady. Oh my God, look at this. This is. Oh. Okay, let's see if I just hold her. She really thinks that she can sit on my lap. Okay, we're not making out. I know, you just want to kiss and love and... Okay, and bite. No biting. Okay, I got to drug her. That's it. I can't do it. This is too much. Stop biting me. Scoot over. Oh, she's so fucking fat and heavy. Oh my God. I swear to God. She's got to be like 80 pounds. I don't know. I'm curious though. Because she is a chunk. She is so fucking huge. Okay, hold on a second. Let me find my drugs. Stop. Okay. Let's find the drugs. Let's find you some drugs, okay? Here. How about 2? There you go. Okay. Go lay down. Usually works really quick on her, so we'll see. She loves that stuff. Okay. Okay, what is your deal? It's like a dog wrestle mania. Okay, so I'm trying to tell a story. I'm making up in my head. I don't know, I can see it. Stop. So, anyways, it looks like that there was these scout, then these explorers. And the scout group that was like heavy on indigenous or local kind of, it seems that there was money funders, in the premise was like travel availability of trains, like opening railways. So it seems that railways were funding, just like when they were going out and exploring for new lands, looking for new taxpayer, was on ships. That was being funded by the royals. So here we're built on the corporation, even though it kind of still, the taxes go to the royals, because it all goes up into this bloodline, which the bloodlines seem to go back to, an amphibian or lizard people or something. So it goes back to a different tribe, a different kind of being than what humans are. So more of the these other lines, these other beings, these other settlers, like when you go way back, these other groups that came to this place to take over. It's always been this. Oh my God. Will you stop? You are crazy. Go get a bone. Go get one of your bones. Ruth, go get one of your bones. See how she's a terrorist? She's a ruthless little terrorist. That's what she is. I should have chose a different name. Ruthie the Ruthless. But anyways, so she really will conk out in a minute. Because all the time when Stella gets that medicine, she's like, well, I want some. Nobody can get anything that she thinks she's missing out. She's going to get about. Oh, she's eyeing at Max. Maybe you want to jump on him. Because she'll just go sit right on top of him. Now she's going to lay down. Now she's settling down. Because Stella, she has to get medicine. And Ruthie always is like, oh, it's no fair. I want some. So I'll give her a little bit. She conks out. And like I said, I had given her some of that other medicine when I went to the store. And I was like, so she was calm. So I could go to the store, because she goes insane. Like, if I go in the other room and don't take her with me, she goes crazy. It's like she's got to have me in her sights all the time. Even somebody in the dog park was like, she's over there playing, but she's got her eye on you the whole time. She's always watching to see what I'm doing. When all the other dogs, they were all ready to go. So we start to, and when we all start gathering up to get ready to go, she's like, well, maybe I want to go back and play some more. So she goes over and she's by them, and we start kind of going over to the gate and stuff. And when I got to the gate, I said, okay, Ruthie, come on. And she goes tearing as fast as she can over to me. She has some really good things that she does, but she's still a little wild hell firecracker, hellion. So, but she's puppy. I just had, I don't remember. She just got a lot of energy. I think that we gotta kind of forget about how wild puppies are until you get one again, and then it's like, fuck, man. God damn. So, and she's laying on Stella right now. So Stella's woke up and is irritated. Like, God damn, what this bitch doing? She's always like that. Stella will whine at me like, God damn it, get this bitch off me. Because, here we go. Okay, I gotta move her off of her. Hold on. Do not lay on her, Ruthie. She does not like it. And Ruthie wants to be on top of somebody all the time. And I told Stella, she thinks you're her mama. And she wants to cuddle you. Oh my God, they're both staring me down. Oh, now we're going to get her whining. Oh, Lord, it just does not stop. Some of these days. And I don't know how anybody could live like this and not think that there's another force out here fucking with them. So... okay, so it seems like some kind of Union Pacific or something was funding a lot of these explorers. Like, we want to know, how we can go. How can we get from here to there? We want to create, it probably wasn't far behind where they were bringing over the Chinese people and because China, it seems like Chinese and Irish people were enslaved for a while. And I don't know how it went, how it all went down like that. Because a lot of the darker people, they were already here. They weren't going and getting them I think a lot of different places, then they started taking people that they thought were rejects in their society or whatever, and then they were taking them and trying to sell them to other people. Because that still goes on in Libya. That trade system is heavy. You can go and bid on people like right out in the fucking Times Square or something. Because it's all different realities. We're not all just under one thing. We're just in one kind of space of a vibration. So we can't just sit here and think, oh, well, that's horrible. Well, we do horrible things too. That's why we're in the same vibration. We do bullshit too. So, but that's the separation. That the bullshit is separating from into a higher vibration. But you got to pull out of the bullshit. So anyways, but it seems that so these explorers, they weren't just like, oh, well, we're just gonna, the astronauts of the times, we're gonna go out and just go for a little walkabout and see what's out there. No, they had fucking people in front of them who had to fight for them. And then they were kind of just like, I don't know, it's kind of like, kind of like, like a rich person or something, like all these people taking care of them. I was watching this movie the other day, kind of semi, and this rich guy comes walking out and somebody's holding the umbrella for him. Like, oh my God. If you can't hold your own motherfucking umbrella, get a grip. He needs somebody to walk and hold your umbrella for you. Fuck off with this shit. And they're standing in the rain. You're covered. It's like, oh my God, this world. So anyways, but yeah. So it seems that these explorers were paid to go out, and then they had to hire these people to go as scout in front of them and battle. And then and they went with this group, but that's where it seems that they had missionaries along with them. So kind of like communities that were more receptive to outsiders, that they would come in, but it was a manipulation too through religion. And then there was always like a put down on their faith, like they're not civilized. We have the truth. We know the truth. So I don't know what the deal is, this John the Baptist kind of thing, but I think he was a priest or something, some kind of reverend, some kind of authority over religion. Stell, please stop. She's not even touching you now. Oh my God, the motherfucking drama. Oh my God, I swear to God. Hold on. Did she disrupt you? Did she disturb your sleep, princess? There you go. Everybody could just please be quiet and let me do my work, okay? I don't know why you guys think it's just a good idea to just disrupt me. Just let me do my thing for a minute. Oh, okay. So, anyways, it seems that is that in their posse that was going out, and then it seems not far behind. Who knows? Because there was like the Pony Express. So, like these certain guys who would go and ride their horses to take information from one to another, and so whatever information that they brought back to the corporation of to put out, start creating a passage, because they control our movement. And so it's so the railway was controlled kind of movement for you to go, but it wasn't just so that they could control. It was a way that they could get resources. So it was a way to transport resources, it seems like. So it was like, go see what's out there. And then we're going to, come and take whatever's out there and start bringing it back. And then but to sell the people on this idea of like, look at how you can travel. You can get on these trains and zip out there, which I think probably even like train robbers, because that was a thing, and they'd stop the trains. It wouldn't surprise me if those weren't some of their criminals. They didn't hire them too. Like, okay, well, we're going to transport these people, but we're going to have these criminals that we hired stop the train, steal all their stuff, and then we'll get their stuff too. I swear to God. So anyways, but it seems like, so Pocahontas must have been one of these. She wasn't so much a scout, because it seemed like stayed more with them. So more of like a translator, but it wasn't just of a language. It was kind of like able to read the signs of like nature, and it was bigger than just like, oh yeah, well, she can talk to him or something. It was more of a kind of like in the Game of Thrones, or these different royals, because this is not that is kind of a truth over these different royals having a psychic witch, somebody who could see, a seer that could look and see, like, well, if we do this, what's going to happen? And then they would look, kind of like what I'm doing, into their mind, because the seers were used by these people. And I'm telling you, that's why they were looking. That's what these testing and stuff are done. They're looking for people that they want to use, and seers were people that they would use. And then if you didn't see it right, or something went wrong, they would, you were done. They're like, oh, she's out. You fucked us. And so so she was kind of like that, kind of like a seer or something, like a connected to another realm, like the spirit realm or something. So to me, it doesn't seem like it was so much just her. There was a reason why they had her and why they took her. Oh yeah, it was kind of like in that show, Rabbit Fall, that I was talking about. And it was showing these tribes. And it was showing how so it was in Canada. So here in America, they took the tribes and they said, we're taking all this land, but we're going to give you this corner over here, and that's where you live. That's your reservation. I don't know where the word reservation came from, this whole thing. But the reservation became the land that was given to the indigenous people, or the Indian people, or whatever you want to call them, of the territory. But then they took the major part of their land and moved them into small quadrants, and told them that that's where they had to stay. That's your land, you stay over there. And then but in this show that's in Canada, it seems that there's like villages where it was mostly indigenous people, but there was a few white people in there. And like the poacher guy, he was in there. But there was a few white people in there, seedy. Like this cop in this show, so fucking seedy. God damn. He just makes you just want to fucking punch his face in. But so, which is all true stuff. Like the fucking, we sit here and trust these certain people, like these lawmakers and these lawmen or whatever, and they are fucking corrupt as motherfucking shit, and then telling us to follow the rules. It's like fucking bullshit, man. But so in this village, then it's all these indigenous people, and so there's a huge spiritual connection, and then there's the history that is these two realms are kind of like intersecting, because this certain person has come in there, and but so when it shows the old part, then it has this really young girl who the chief talks to, and she tells the chief things, and she tells him, don't trust these guys. So kind of like that. That's kind of like what Pocahontas was like. She was like this more, trusted connection, like a younger, which I didn't even know she was that young. But the girl in this show is really young like that. but in them, because this other tribe that's trying to, who ends up coming in and doing this massacre, but they're trying to get something from them, and this girl is like, do not trust them. And the other tribe guy, he's like, what are you listening to her for? And I don't remember what the chief said about that, but and it might have been a part where it went back to the other part or whatever, because it's like this guy who does this massacre, he's still connected through his lineage, I think, but also your soul can come in and play other parts, because it seems like it's him in the now and him in the then. And but he's also connected because he was the medicine man. His dad was the medicine man. His grandpa was the medicine man. So there's just way more to our world in the spiritual concept or spiritual realm than what like, this isn't weird. It's like, if you come in and you're this person, and then your grandpa or your dad or your son then becomes the medicine man, and then you're the next one, and then you come out again, because there's also this thing of souls, when they go out, they want to put things right, because you see all of your mistakes once you come out. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be mistakes, but it's how your perception of, like, which is common, because all the time when you look at something, I wish I would have done that different. I wish I would have done that different. I wish I would have known what I know now. I wish I would have seen it then, what I can see now. But that's the thing, where you have to come into tune with your lessons. That's the way it's supposed to be. You can't go back and know something before you know it. And you can't beat yourself up because you didn't know it when you knew it. But when you die and you go through your review and you see the error of your ways, then you want to fix it. And your hands are more tied, so you have to come in different roles in order to try and set things straight, because it's like a binding, it's an entanglement, it's a hold on you. And so it's like this binding, and it's like what we think of as like karma, but it is it's like an entanglement to your soul, and it's like your soul's constantly trying to get itself out of a tangled mess. That's what it seems like to me. It's like it goes into a situation, like, say your beginning soul, and you go into the situation like friggin' Ruthie, all excited. I'm jumping in. I'm ready to go. I'm, like this mindless kind of excitement. And you don't realize, like, you're creating a web of entanglement with all these other souls by the things that you do and say and how you treat people and stuff. And then as time goes on, you begin to see the outcomes, and you begin to learn and grow, and you begin to kind of like acknowledge the authority over self. But it is kind of like where you start taking, like, this concept of, I wish I would have done that different. I wish I would have known that before. I wish I would have seen that ahead of time. It is like wanting to redo the past by what you know now, kind of concept. But that isn't really possible. What you create, it's like the mess you create, your entanglement, you have to untangle them. And that is what we're at this point in time right now, of this opportunity to really do a lot of untangling. And what people can't untangle, then they'll just go back into other lives to go and continue to figure and be able to break themselves out of the messes that they've created for themselves. And most people don't know what their mess is, because they don't look at life in this spiritual kind of concept. They look at it in a different kind of way. And so they look at it in the physical. Everything in the physical is like an illusion, because it is not. It's like a temporary structure, and it's not something that's there all the time. Just like where people think of all these different times of Earth, but those were all separate times. They weren't this, nothing is just this long thing. It is all of these different things going all the time. And so you you leave one and you go and but you're trying to fix the same stuff. It's not, your stuff goes with you. It's like you are like the first happy little soul, like your little Ruthie that comes in and is all excited and ready to do things. Well, that's when you start packing your bags. That's when you start, everything you do it becomes a part of your code, and you start filling your bags full of the damage and the debris. And that's what is kind of like the anchor that weights you down. And that is, at this point in time, where it is that you are trying to lighten your load. And that's why as you heal and you let go of things, you start feeling lighter. You start feeling like the vibration inside of you. You start feeling more, just lighter and happier, and like things don't bother you as much. You don't hold on to stupid ass shit, because when you are broken, like you hold on to everything. Fuck, man. It used to be like, somebody could say something to me. Oh, Jesus Christ, I could replay that for a goddamn fucking month. I mean, but there's people, you're replaying something somebody told you 20 years ago, and you're still thinking about it. It's like those things you gotta let go of. And then the more you heal, the more you do just let go of them. It's like, oh, it doesn't really matter. Who cares? And so it's just, but it's a step process. It's not like you can just jump in and do that. It takes, you have to keep taking the steps and letting go of shit. And it just gets easier and easier and easier. And then pretty soon, it's just like, you're not holding on to stupid ass shit anymore. It's just like, doesn't matter. And, but you do, from the beginning of your time as a as a, let's say, as a reincarnator, as an explorer of other realms, then you are filling your bags. And then there's different time periods of this energetic flipping around, where you have an opportunity to, go through your luggage and clean out the closet. So this is what this time is this opportunity to clean out the closet and to lighten the load. And the thing is that us as humans, there's a lot of humans at this point who have an understanding of this, where we're going. Because even people like Donald and stuff, like there's a lot of people who, talk about the golden age and stuff. And that is where we're going into, this golden age. But you can't just get there. That's the thing. And there's a lot of people who have an awareness of this now, is that this is, like the highly anticipated, the location of choice. This is where most people want to go to, is this heaven on earth, where you don't have all these problems like we have now and stuff. But it's a different kind of lessons. Like I was saying, it's more of going into your creator spirit, but you have got to do the work to get to that part of yourself. And so there's a lot of stuff you gotta let go of. Hi, sweetie. And she's got this big knot on them. She always gets all these big things. This big one on them, right? It would be like right here. I keep putting aloe vera and stuff. It's just like, it's just right on the edge of just opening up and all of this gunk coming out of it. So close. It's so like, it's like, and I've been putting on horse paste and aloe vera. I'm thinking, man, maybe I should soak it with some Epsom salts, because that usually is like the springboard of opening. See, she's conked out now. And she took Stella's spot. So now Stella's come over here to lay on top of me. So, anyways, so, okay. So we had the explorers, we had the scouts, we had, but that's what I was saying the other day about the mission, these missionary kind of people. And, but I do in my ex's, that history book of theirs, it was, this John the Baptist married Pocahontas. And I think they had a couple kids. Or, man, I'd have to go back and look at their thing again. Yeah, because I think they had another kid named John the Baptist. It seems like there was 2 John the Baptists. And I, I could go look it up in our history, but not everything in our history is very accurate. So, but but this was like this wasn't way back. This was like, I mean, because his grandparents were like, this grandma that I met, she was like, I don't think she was 100, but she was like, I'm pretty sure she was in her 90s. So kind of like like his dad's uncle or something. But it seems like that the John the Baptist, okay, because maybe it was John the Baptist got together with Pocahontas, and they had a couple of kids. And I keep thinking this John the Baptist didn't have kids. I don't know. I wish I had that book. It was really interesting on that part. But anyways, it was on my mind this morning about the missionaries and being with the group that was going, and then but just thinking about like, oh, so she was really young, and this is going for so long, of these religious people taking these young wives, which it's so crazy, because they would sit there and tell some of the tribes, like they were uncivilized, but they were really more civilized than the people who were telling them that they weren't civilized. It's just this manipulation. It's just the same way as what we're living now. These people who are corrupt and unlawful telling us that we're bad if we don't follow the rules. It's like they don't follow the fucking rules. So anyways, it's all just a bunch of shenanigans, and it's just been on replay. It's just replay. Just this fucking cycle. It goes. That's the thing too, is the people who don't break free, they're just gonna stay back into this replay. Just like the ones that get me, that seem the most obvious to me, are the ones who are super judgmental and super hateful. And they'll go back into these worlds that they've got to see. It's like you have to be on the other side of that. So whatever you're judging and hateful about, then you'll come in to have that experience so that you can see more clearly. So like people who are super judgmental of homeless people or drug addicts or whatever, then they go into another life where they come out and they go through bad times. And it is kind of like reassigned. So it's like a destined that you will end up being a drug addict or whatever it is that you were judgmental of. And then that is how you see for yourself how these things occur, because then you don't have that same feeling towards somebody, because then you see like, oh my God, I was beaten, I was raped, I was like, all these horrible things happened to me and I couldn't get over it. I was just like kicked one after another, one thing after another happened to me. I could never get myself feeling good about myself, and there was only people who were horrible to me around me. And that's where you start having more compassion and empathy for the people who have gone through those things. But that's, what happens. And then that's when you sit here and you watch some of these people and they're so hateful. That is, it's like it's just like they're designing their next life right here in front of us. That is more of what it is, where people sit there and think, like, oh, well, you go to this table with all your guides and you figure out your next life and your whole group of people come and, well, we're all, no, it's like you are setting it in motion by your choices. It's like you are writing your next story at the time you're living this one. Oh, that's wild. But that makes sense to me. So, yeah, so it is that they are, by their choices and their attitude, they are designing the next life to see it from this other way. And when you are judging, people who have gone through fucking hard ass fucking times, well, you're setting an emotion, you're going to go in and experience that. So that is like, going into hell on some of those things. But it's like, not everybody's going to the heaven on earth. Like, you really have to let go of all of your judgments and your bad attitude and your hatefulness. But it's all, it's not like you're just a bad soul. It's you've gone through a lot of different lives and you're carrying a lot of burdens, you're carrying a lot of pain. And that's why you have to, start unpacking your luggage and emptying your closets and letting the demons out, because it's all this magnetically attached to you, heavy spirits, which it wouldn't surprise me if there isn't some that are waiting for you. Like, you leave one life and then you come back and those same ones are sitting there waiting for you and just attach right back on. And that's why some people think like, oh, they're possessed at a young age or something. You got this dark energy has been sitting here waiting for you. And so, and they can find you easy because there's a magnetism in our vibration, in our existence. And so things are pulled to us. So anyways, I think, everybody, in the talk, and there's a lot of people who are way up their own ass thinking, oh, well, they're going there for sure. And it's like, it's like it's not just an invitation only, but it's like you have to have the right pass to get in. You cannot pass the pearly gates. This is the funny thing too, how they say that about heaven. You have to go through the pearly gates. There's only a way to pass through, but that is true in this sense. You cannot just go and take all your baggage and go into this new way, because you have to be of the new way. It's all based on your vibration. So you have to match where it is you're going. And all these people, they don't even think about that. Because there's so many people who consider themselves to be super religious and very, they go to church every Sunday and stuff, but they're very hateful and very, okay. So in that sense, the people who are very hateful, say for instance, red, and they're very, they're getting raptured. They're definitely, they're going with Jesus. And they're very hateful to these other people because these other people are this, that, and the other thing. But when you're sitting back in observation, you see these people are being very misled and mind controlled. So the people who don't want to recognize that and just think they're bad people, then they'll, like, for instance, go back into a life that is very mind controlled. They're going to have to really break through a lot of mind control in order to see the difficulty and to learn to have compassion. So see, it's always the flip side. That's the thing, is everybody's going into the flip side. And you really got to think about what you're putting out, because it is, delusional to think like you're just going there just because it's going to be there. It's like, no, there's an entryway to get in, and you have to match, you have to be able to get through it. And your vibration will hold you back. Not everybody's going into that. And the thing is about it is it's kind of more what's beginning here. It's like what the start over is. And then so a lot of these people, this is what was getting me over this rapture thing. A lot of these people who think they're leaving, I'm just like, well, leaving isn't necessarily the best thing, because that is like you're going back into another place in time to go and learn more. And then when you watch the hatefulness, division, the what is that? The necessity or draw that they feel to needing a savior. That is the whole thing. And so there's a lot of lessons. So I don't know, I mean, you'd have to be in that group to see where, each group is going. And I'm just, worried about where I'm going. Like, I'm just focused on, well, I want to go to a place that's about love and acceptance. So I've got to learn how to be loving and accepting. And I've got to learn how to, be, it's like you have to learn how to be good to yourself, You have to learn what your own value is, what you deserve. And we get kind of stuck in this idea that in order to be a good person, we have to give more than what we have. And that is the opposite. You have to learn how to value yourself and not just give and give and give and give when you've got nothing to give, but to be able to learn to give to yourself, take care of yourself, love yourself. And so it's, but that's where a lot of these people start thinking that that's bad. That's like going against God. Isn't that the weirdest? To learn to love yourself is like going against God. Well, what the hell kind of God are you worshiping? I mean, why wouldn't he want you to love yourself? Well, because he just wants you to love him. Well, that is low vibration. That is fucking ego driven. That is not a high vibrational God. So, and we do have a lot of low vibrational God idols in this world that they want us to worship and give our energy to. So anyways, it's all freaking, but every day, it just like we're getting closer and closer and closer to what's coming. Where it is kind of starting to feel like super intense. Like, oh my God, the sky here yesterday, I did a short to show, none of these videos ever show how fucking crazy it looks to be there and see it. But the sky was there was so much blue sky. There was pink clouds. There was this orange going everywhere. It was, and then the cloud formations, it's like this wind or this pull. Like there's this weird looking. It's not even just the ones that have the ripples where it looks like the waves of, the towers or something is pushing through. It is more of this world. I don't know, it's trippy looking. God, it's so trippy looking in the sky over here. But, oh yeah, and there was another thing too. Okay. Oh yeah, because I hadn't even said that yet. So, so today's the 12th, so, and I don't know where Japan is on the thing, but on the 12th, so I guess a few hours ahead from us, because they are already on the 12th in the morning, because the guy was talking about it. He said that they're going to lunch now, but he said they had another 6.5 this morning, and he said that since the other one on Monday, because today's Friday now, so today's the 12th, Friday the 12th in America, and when I started this, it was like, 5:51, that's what it was. And so now it's probably 6:55. And so he said that since the one on Monday, they had told him that to be prepared for a mega quake. that they need to start preparing, that they feel that there's going to be a mega quake. There's going to be mega quakes going all over the place. So that is the buildup. We are in the buildup. The tectonic plates and everything is shifting underneath us to build up to these mega quakes. And so he said this morning when the ones start going, everybody's like on nervous as can be, he said. And they're doing these alerts and stuff like that. So anyways, they had the one the other day that was like, I think they're always changing the numbers, because it seems like it was like a 6.9 or 7, now it's 6.5. And then the ones that keep going, like Alaska, over by Russia, off of Oregon coast, which over in Washington State, they're under a state of emergency. God, see, oh my God, I'm so glad I moved. Oh my God. There's floods everywhere, and it's just now about to start raining bad. And they've already been having a whole bunch of rain, but now is a whole nother rainstorm coming, and they're already under floods. And they said there's like 14 rivers or something that they are saying, and they're evacuating and stuff. So it's bad over there. And which these evacuations could end up helping if there's the mega quake comes in there. But there's certain places that are not doing anything, like over right by Seattle and Tacoma, because I asked my daughter, about my granddaughter, and she said, oh no, everything's fine. It's like, it's not going to stay fine, I know that. But so Alaska, Hawaii has got all these volcanoes. So there's a volcano going there. There's a volcano that started, there's a big one in Ethiopia. There's some over in Central or South America. There's some, they're going all over the place. And these quakes going. So it's all this bouncing around all over the place. And that's one reason why I keep trying to get stocked up on Stella's medicine too, because if everything kind of shuts down for a while, then you're not going to be able to get stuff from different places. And who knows how long, when these things go, because it's going to affect, it's like it's going to affect like the power grid and stuff or something. It's going to be like this. It's not going to be just like, oh, well, poor California. No, it's going to reverberate across. Confirmation. It's going to be things happening everywhere. And so anyways, there's a buildup. It's still going. It's building up. And so I would, they had the one there, so they could have another one, in Indonesia today, or Alaska, or just over by Russia. And that's the thing too, is there's all these people doing these fake accounts and saying, so they're showing things happening, but they're showing old footage and stuff like that. This guy I saw this morning, he's in Japan, and he said, it's really scary. And he was going to show some video of what was happening when it goes. But anyways, he's saying it's really scary, and that they start sounding these alarms and stuff, and they've said there's a mega quake. But there's one thing too, is like, where do you go? Where do you go? Because that is a big thing in our life, is, a door has to open. Where you're meant to go, a door will open. Something will, be there for you to go. And so when you have all these people in all these places, they're meant to go through whatever experience is going to happen. And so, yeah, I think it is. And I don't know what's going to happen where I'm at, I have no idea. And like, it's fucking intense no matter what. I'm just glad I'm not over there in the floods like right now, because it was like, fuck, man. And now they've already set a state of emergency, but there will be places that will be like cut off, and they won't be able to get resources and stuff, because even where I saw Sumas, and Sumas is right at the border of Canada, and it was 15 minutes from my house. So where I was living was more up on the hill, and then you went down into the valley where the farms were and stuff. And so you went down into there. That's where Sumas was. And the last place that was a flood was what was that town called? Not Norfolk. Norfolk, no. I can't remember. But anyways, the big, huge flood. So the videos I saw of Sumas is way underwater. And they were saying, for people not to come there. And so, which I would say, if it was here, if you had a 2-story house, you'd have to be on the 2nd story. It would be like half up in your house. Your cars are a mess. Your everything is a fucking mess when the floods happen. But in some places, I think, are like washing houses and stuff away. There was I saw a news report over in Seattle, and it was old man was driving his truck down a road, and one of those rivers was going crazy because they go real big, and then they start washing trees and stuff. And a tree flew out of the river and flew in and slammed right through his windshield. It was like that scary movie Final Destination or something, creepy as shit, but he's okay. And he went into the passenger side instead of his, but just crashed right through a giant hole right through his windshield. But so anyways, there's all sorts of, they said there's down power lines, trees. It's just a big fucking mess. And it's just getting started. This is the 2nd wave that's coming in, which all of this stuff too is the earthquake, and there's all these volcanoes, which is tons of volcanoes in Oregon. I don't even know how many are here, but I'm in a valley kind of thing, because you look out and you see the mountain ranges, and so the mountains were more typically where there is the volcanoes. So but there's a whole bunch of volcanoes, and they're all in Washington State, and then this earthquake thing. So I don't know. There's just going to be more, but all these different places are supposed to end up being underwater. And the thing about like over by Sumas and stuff, like you have limited ways to get around. Sumas, they may have more, but see, it's like you're very limited over because the mountains are there. So it's the 5. I have said the whole time, the 5, when whatever goes down, and know that the earthquake is going to fuck the 5. Like people are going to get stuck over there, especially winter when they've already been having these big snowstorms up in the mountains, and they're not going to be able to cross. And so they're going to be stuck because something's going to happen to the 5, and they won't have access to get out of there. And you can try and do back roads, but you are keep coming across to places you have to cross mountain passes. And even Leavenworth is being flooded, and that's Stevens Pass. So there's Snoqualmie is flooded, and that was the pass, the one that I took the most. Stevens Pass would be another one that I would take, and that's where Leavenworth is. Then the other pass is Okanagan or something, and that's the one up there is where it gets closed down. So it's not even a year-round pass. So see, your evacuation is very limited, and that's the thing that kept being like, oh my God, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And so anyways, I'm glad I'm not over there for all of this stuff that's going on. And I think it's just going to keep building and getting worse and worse and worse. And because we're at this time, and things are going to start going under. We're at this time of change, and it's like the sands of time, and there's not a lot of sand left in the timer, and it's flipping. We've got to flip it in order to start over. So there's not a lot of sands of time left in this one. And it's like what all things are going to happen in that. We'll see, but it's not going to be good. It's going to be a lot of shit. So anyways, but I did want to say too about the silver. Man, I didn't even realize like what a good choice that was when I invested in it, because I didn't know that much about it. I just knew it was repressed and it was going to go way up, and that there was going to be more things that they were going to be making of it, and that was going to increase it too. Well, now I've come to find out is that there's not that much. They've already run out in a bunch of places. And like England is all cleaned out. And so it's raising the thing more. It's becoming more valuable because there isn't any. It's in India took a whole bunch. So India has a whole bunch. I guess they make a lot of stuff out of silver, and I don't know if it's just jewelry or what they do with it. But a lot of things are made with silver. So there's not enough silver, and they said even the because I got physical. That was, when anybody is asked, I was like, well, you got to get physical. Now you can't get any. Now you just got to, now it's the ball's in play. And so now it's kind of like too late to get in because there's not any to get. But there was people who were buying it and then letting the bank keep it. So the bank had all of this silver kept in a vault or something. And it seems, I'm not really completely sure on how this works, but they would also loan it. So you could borrow it for overnight. Like, why would you need to borrow a bunch of silver for overnight? But I don't know in all their laundry fucking weird system what they got going. But it was before when it was like 39%. So you could borrow. So you think about percentage rates when you're borrowing something. We all get outraged on 39 or 29% on my credit card. That's bullshit. And they give us 4% back on well, a lot of banks only give you like 1.5% on the money you keep. So they give you, a little bit back, but you take some and it's like, oh, well, you're going to give us, pay us double. So anyways, it was, so then it went up to 39%. So if you wanted to borrow some silver overnight, I think you would have to pay 39%. And now it's 200. They said that there's all these vaults are cleaned out. There's nothing. And there's a shortage of it. And so everything is like closing down and the price just keeps going up and going up, which for things to double in price and stuff is just like crazy when you hear these economic people talking. So right now it's at like $68 an ounce. And they're saying it's going to be at 100 really quick. And then it's going to just keep going up. Because the thing to watch about the silver is this is about it's about our distancing from the current currency. So it is, but it was a good investment, which I'm sure, a lot of these people who talk about the X and the R and the P, that they talk about that one. And I'm sure it's probably a really good one too. Oh, and there's another thing about the 19th that I keep seeing these videos now is, that the NASA is, I guess, or the government, whoever, is saying that the Atlas is going to be the closest to Earth that day. Like, be expecting big things are going to happen this day because a lot of shit's going to go down on the net. So, I don't know. Today's the 12th. We got a week left or something. Get your food, get your medicine, get whatever it is you need. And who knows? But things are picking up steam, that's for sure. And like I said, in the times of sand, then there is, it's like, where it was full, say it was full like when you were born, and now it's like down, it's like going fast too. You know how like a timer just starts going when it gets down. So it's like, but then don't forget, it's going to flip over and then we're going to start again. But, your choices and who you are, what you're putting out makes it's like you're setting up your new life. So that's where you need to be very cautious or conscientious over your choices and what you're doing and what you're working on, where you put your energy. And I'm telling you, you can't go wrong putting it into yourself. And even though there's a lot of people that think like, oh no, that's horrible, you think you're a god, it's like, well, kind of know I am. Because your concept of a god is not a really accurate perception. But anyways, you gotta understand your own divinity, your own eternal essence. You have to understand your godlike characteristics. But that is why, this world that we're going to create is going to be this heaven on earth. It's going to be people who value themselves, who know their own value and value everyone else as a god. They're not trying to be over you. They understand, hey, you're my equal. We're all here. We're all in this vibration. We're all vibing high, man. And we're making a good world. We're creating a world where we can all be happy and have the things we need. And that is the choice a lot of people want to go to, but it's like not everybody's gonna get in. You have to. There's so many people are just focused on just so much nonsense too, and there's so much nonsense going on. Like they give you every opportunity to be distracted in nonsense and to be caught up in drama and bullshit. And so it's just your choice. To me, it's like kind of like being on a trip, being on a vacation, and you're in the back seat looking out the window and seeing everything as it's going by. But the thing is you have some people who want to stop at every little stop. And it's like you're better off just taking the scenic tour right now. Just watching what's going on, and whatever, how it affects you, process through it. Don't ignore your feelings, and process your feelings, but don't get caught up, and, don't feel like you have to stop and look at every fucking giant ball of yarn or whatever, these things, these facades, these distractions that they want to keep you, because the more that they can keep you contained, then you're going back into one of their structures. You're going to go back into one of their vibratory worlds, because you got shit to work out. So you gotta put yourself in the concept of being a little cuckoo, a little out there to most people. And focus on the spiritual side of life. Focus on your spirit and your soul, and what are you doing here? Why are you here? And how's your soul feel about that? And that's what I would say. So, anyways, there's a lot going on, and now we're on Friday. I can't even believe. Seems like I just said that it was just the other day. Like time is going so fucking fast. It's crazy. So. It's so weird. It's like we're swept up in time, just moving so quickly. So anyways, we'll see how quickly this day moves and what it brings forward. But there is a ton of shit. And this is like so much of what it is you put out. Like you've got to be so mindful. People think that they can do the same fucking bullshit that they've always been able to do. And I think that this is a good example is this football coach in Michigan State or whatever. And so he was having an affair, and he has a wife and 3 kids, and he got this good job for $13 million fucking a year. Like, for God, we are weird. Get us a winning team and you get 13 million a year. And there's got to be more to it too. I don't even know all the fucking shenanigans in this sports and stuff. But anyway, so he's got this good job. He's got this beautiful family. But that's not enough. He's got to go out and cheat. And then he had DoorDash or Uber or something deliver some Plan B to. And I don't know if this girl is one of his students or what the deal is. But so it gets leaked out about this Plan B situation. Gets back to his wife. If his wife leaves him, the school fires him, and he loses his job, he loses his family. Then he gets pissed off and thinks that the girl who he's having an affair with, well, she has to, if he's going to suffer, she's going to suffer too. So he goes over there to do something to her, and she gets away, calls the cops. Now he's arrested and is going before a judge. I don't know if he's going this week or next week or whatever. So he's got to go to jail now. I don't know if he's getting charged with nabbing or I don't know what all. But it's like, he's way up here, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Now he's like, woo, the fall. So anyways, this thing, what you're putting out is going to come back to you. If you're not being grateful and happy, and you're, it's never enough, and you're going to, you got to have more. The thing is when you just need more, 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 you need to look at like, why, what is it, what is missing in me that it feels like this isn't enough? Why is, a wife and my kids and my family, why isn't that enough? Why do I feel like I need this other hot blonde over here? It's like, and it's weird too, yeah, because it is like these, it's these other lives dragging behind us, because all of these coordinates of these people, it's all other entanglements. It's like you're constantly having to untangle. So, he met this hot blonde that is something from a past life, then he needed to untangle his connection to her, not just jump back in. So that's the thing. Is that everything that we do, we got to be so much more mindful. We got to look at things so much deeper. And they want to keep us so in the surface, because as long as we're in the surface, we stay in their world. So go deeper into yourself. That's what I say. And learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody else, and learn how to have the day you want to have, because that's your man, that's your a big step forward for man there. So anyways, and we'll see what this day brings us, and we'll talk about tomorrow. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.